Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 24-year-old piece of gold and the current reigning defending Bullet Cast champion, just like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, and Adam Cole, baby. This title reign is hashtag forever undisputed. For life, brother. And yes, I am the microphone messiah, but you know I never do this alone. He's my tag team partner, the Jim to my J, the Totem Arn, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T, the Kenny Omega to my Hangman Adam Page, the Canadian Destroyer, host of the award-winning Under the Radar host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, the 8-time and first ever Bullet Cast champion, BT Brandon Tanguma. How you doing today on this fine Thursday afternoon?
Phillip, I'm doing okay. We thought 2020 was going to hell in a handbasket. It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it?
Yes, all the riots and the quest for change and peace and equality. It's 2020 has been an interesting one, man.
Yeah, I'm already ready for 2021. And we're not even halfway through yet.
Yeah, of course we're not. We are 4 days into the 6th month of this year. What fun, right? What fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk professional wrestling. That's what we're here to do. So let's get to it. For SmackDown, we're not going to go over everything that happened there. We'll really cover SmackDown in next week's episode when we talk about the finals for the IC title tournament between Styles and Brian Danielson. Daniel Bryan, that's his name? Yeah.
Christopher Daniels?
Christopher Daniels? I don't know. Alright, so the Jeff Hardy angle. So apparently what Elias was run over and there was debauchery and Jeff Hardy's arrested because, of the his life and the substance abuse and all this other stuff. People didn't quite find it funny, or not funny, but there were a lot of people that didn't like it. I know Matt Hardy took to Twitter and said he's thankful to work for AEW and Tony Khan. Rebby Sky said she's throwing her TV out, but honestly, her opinions don't really matter for reasons. Brandon, what was your thoughts when you saw this Jeff Hardy angle?
Well, I thought it was an interesting angle for probably all the wrong reasons. This Jeff Hardy, they were doing the comeback story with the vignettes and the documentary series, so they were definitely leaning heavily into the Jeff Hardy, road to recovery angle of things. And, obviously Jeff Hardy comes out at the end of the show, which kind of leads everyone to believe that he wasn't under the influence, he was framed. But that being said, at the beginning of the show, you have Jeff Hardy who is still fighting. It's not like, some of these other wrestlers who have been clean. It's over like Shawn Michaels, who's been clean for almost 20 years. So that's maybe a little bit better to go and tell that story than someone who's currently in that situation. And also with all this stuff going on with the protests and everything, having a white man arrested and having, I don't know if this was like filmed like that day or if this was filmed in advance or they had this planned in advance, but I just think it was kind of poor timing to have Jeff Hardy be arrested and, with everything going on. It wasn't the best look. It's WWE. What do you expect? But I assume that this is all just going to lead to Sheamus be the one that, ran over Elias and poured booze over Jeff Hardy to make it seem like he was drunk or something.
Yeah, that's exactly where this was going to go. Hardy was framed, and it's this is wrestling. They've done this with Scott Hall, and I guess we can say Adam Page. I don't know, but he's a babyface for drinking. It is what it is. When I found out this happened, I was actually watching an old TNA pay-per-view highlights, and it was Victory Road, the pay-per-view where Jeff's completely wasted and unable to compete against Sting, and Sting's all pissed off and all this other stuff, and I'm like, that's ironic, but yeah, that happened. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on. Outside of the ring, we have some very sad news. Deathmatch wrestler Danny Havoc has passed away at the age of 34. If you ever saw the Wrestler series on Vice, he was a part of that during the deathmatch episode, and he was retiring at that point. It was about 3 years ago, and he was in the business for like 18 years. Did a lot. He was good buddies with Jimmy Havoc of AEW, so I'm not gonna pretend like I watched his work and I knew a lot about him, because I really didn't. I don't. But from that episode of The Wrestlers, he seemed like a down to earth guy and cool guy. It's unfortunate that he's passed away. I don't think the news is broken of how this happened, but R.I.P. to Danny Havoc. Brandon?
Honestly, I didn't know who Danny Havoc was, but he seemed to touch a lot of lives and be friends and be a good person to a lot of people inside the wrestling industry. I saw just everyone just flooding the social medias about, R.I.P. Danny and all that stuff. And I've seen a lot of the wrestler show, or the show on Vice, but I haven't seen that one yet, so I definitely got to go out and watch that episode. John Moxley, he tweeted out his thoughts and just was saying that he was crying all night, and he was hurt by this. And also Danny Havoc, a graphic designer, so he was kind of making that inroads in the wrestling business, and he actually designed the first ever AEW grenade logo for John Moxley.
Wow. It's like we said, it's unfortunate. R.I.P. to Danny Havoc. On to some happy news. Kelly, she was on the show at the beginning of the year before the world and our country turned upside down. She's getting engaged. Congratulations to Kelly. It's like we said, ladies and gentlemen. You come on our show, good things are going to happen to you. She was in the Women's Royal Rumble. She was the host of Where Are They Now for WWE Network. And now she's engaged. So shout out Kelly. Congratulations, girl.
Congratulations to Kelly. Great TikTok.
Oh, absolutely. One of the best TikToks. All right, Sting.
She's no Lana.
Oh, no, she's no Lana or Peyton Royce. Absolutely. Yowzers. Kathy Kelly, very underrated TikTok, if I might add. All right, Sting, The Lost Tape. It was about like a 15-minute little doc. I'm not going to include the running time of the match. If you include that, it's about like 30 minutes. But it's this crew was following Sting around in '95 in WCW. This is Bleach Blonde Surfer Sting. And he's just talking about what it's like to go out there and perform in front of the fans. And you have Macho Man that's not really being Macho Man. He's just backstage, being Randy Poffo. And it was really cool just to see this aspect. I think it was all leading up to a match with Big Bubba, which was the Big Boss Man in WCW. And Brandon, have you seen this, and what do you think?
Well, Phillip, of course I've seen it, because I'm a great wrestling podcast host, and I just watch everything. I mean, I don't know exactly how to put it into words, but I would maybe surmise that it was just a great watching experience, something to see, the behind-the-scenes actions of mid-90s WCW.
I take it as you haven't seen this.
What? What are you talking about? How would you come to that conclusion?
I mean, when something drops on the network, you have to watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't.
We're on quarantine. You don't got nothing else to do?
Click that notification bell to get the updates.
Wow. I mean, it was good, man. You see Mike Tenay and Mean Gene Okerlund. You see all these great talents. Yes. All right, Arn Anderson, the Enforcer. As I look at his autograph on my wall, he signs a new multi-year deal with AEW. Arn's not going nowhere. The coach is here to play, baby.
Good for Arn Anderson. Gets let go from WWE, lands on his feet with AEW, and who knows exactly what this entails. Is he going to be an on-screen talent for multiple years? Will he just be an on-screen talent for the foreseeable future until his storyline with Cody runs through and he's a producer for a long time? But I think Arn, on-screen wise, he's been alright. He hasn't really contributed too much to the Cody character, which I don't really think Cody needs a manager or a coach per se, but I think it's just leading to a story later on down the line where Arn Anderson turns, because you can never trust Arn Anderson, and he's a horseman, and the horsemen hate the roads, and it's going to come to fruition sometime later down the line.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking of Cody, Cody welcomes non-AEW talents to challenge for the TNT Championship in the Open Challenge. Last week on Dynamite, Cody said he would take on a schedule like no wrestler before him. And every week, this title will be defended. That's actually really cool, man. You could have guys come in and do a one-off. That's dope, man. I'm excited for that.
Well, Philip, wrestlers are supposed to be independent contractors, which in theory means you can just book them for a one-off, one-time appearance, and they can just come in, do the match, and leave. But call me crazy.
I mean, dude, like, people make that qualm with WWE. It's the biggest company in the world. Would you really want to work anywhere else?
Matt Hardy says he's glad to work for AEW.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Matt. I mean, he's broken. He doesn't make much sense. You know what I mean? Yes.
He wasn't broken on this week's episode.
See, he has a personality disorder. You know, there are times when he's fine. There are other times when he's not fine. You know, I've seen this before on Days of Our Lives. You know, it's quite drastic what's going on with Matt Hardy. He needs help. Yes. All right, AEW Fyter Fest July 1st and July 8th, 2-night event on Wednesday. It's going to be free for us, and we will see certain matches on there that we will get to when we talk about AEW Dynamite. Moving on with that, this day in wrestling, SmackDown 2002, Jamie Noble makes his debut, and Billy and Chuck, they were great friends. They had a friendship ceremony once. They win back the WWE Tag Team Championships. Raw on this day in 2007, Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch defeat the Hardy Boys for the World Tag Team titles. Fun fact, the storyline of Cade and Murdoch respecting the Hardys, but after they couldn't get the job done and they turn on them, that was done 10 years later with The Bar and the Hardy Boys. And, Brandon, we were in attendance for when The Bar turned on the Hardy Boys. Payback 2017 with the House of Horrors match. Yes.
How could I forget?
How could you forget? Speaking of WWE pay-per-views in 2017, Extreme Rules. Samoa Joe defeats Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt to become the number one contender for Brock Lesnar's Universal title for Great Balls of Fire. Yes, how could we forget that? Alright, Riho, the first ever AEW Women's Champion, is 23 years old. I feel like I've wasted my life. And Gorilla Monsoon, the late great Gorilla Monsoon, would have been 82 years old today. Any thoughts about what happened on this day? Do you see clearly?
Where's Riho? I know we're in a pandemic and she might be in lockdown in Japan, but she could have been so much more.
She could have been so much more, you're right, but it just wasn't meant to be. Alright, let's go to the fan mail. Oh, Jesus, I have a lot of emails here. Oh, God. Oh, by God.
You gotta keep a clean email, Philip.
Absolutely, you're right. It's really just a lot of Uber emails here. Alright, here we go. Robert Walker. Hey, guys, I'm just curious if you could name the first time you remember seeing each member of the Elite that's in AEW. I guess he means the first time we've seen them wrestle. Okay, let's see. There's Cody. At first time I saw him, he was teaming with Hardcore Holly in 2007. Matt and Nick, the Bucks, Generation Me and TNA. That was the first time I ever saw those guys. Hangman is like right when he joined the Bullet Club, maybe a little bit before. Kenny Omega. Probably the match with Okada when I really found out who he was. And, yeah, I think that's it. Brandon, what about you?
Well, for Cody, I keep saying, I had I left wrestling for a little bit in the late 2000s. So I don't know if I remember the first time I saw Cody, but my first memory of Cody is probably the dashing Cody Rhodes gimmick, handing out the paper bags and the mustache and whatever, kind of combining gimmicks at this point, but kind of that era Cody Rhodes. Kenny Omega, watching New Japan. So him, joining the Bullet Club and doing all that stuff. So I'm kind of before his rise to prominence and facing Okada and all the good fun stuff. The Young Bucks, I don't know if it's in New Japan, because I started watching New Japan, the Global Force Wrestling collab with New Japan where they had it on pay-per-view for the first time. I think that might be the first time I ever watched the Young Bucks, because I heard they were really good for the longest time and a lot of things in New Japan, but I just never got around to watching it. So probably that. Was Kenny Omega? I think Kenny Omega was on that card as well, so maybe that show as a whole was the first time I saw the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And then Hangman Adam Page, obviously, that's when I was watching New Japan and being the Elite and all that stuff. So whenever he kind of first joined the fold with, the Bullet Club and the Elite, I was there for it.
Awesome. This is not a wrestling question, but here we go. Nigerian Prince. How do you guys feel about the looting and rioting going on right now? And Philip, what's your reaction to when people retaliate with All Lives Matter when we say Black Lives Matter?
We're just jumping into it, aren't we?
We are. About the looting and rioting. Look, I'm all for the protests. I see what's going on for us that live in the Bay Area. Bayfair torn to shreds. The Walmart in San Leandro was burned. The Mercedes dealership in Oakland, cars are on fire. People stealing cars and stuff. Like, you guys are gonna get caught. They have VIN numbers. I mean, if you sell them outside of the states, then maybe you'll get away with it. Look, guys, the point I'm trying to make here is, if we're gonna burn stuff, let's do it to businesses that we know are racist. I know, like, I've heard some black businesses are being burned and all this stuff. Like, a lot of people probably don't even care about this movement and what's going on. They've just been cooped up in their house for 2 months and just want something to do and be reckless and get free stuff. That's what a lot of it is. But, like, look, like a Chick-fil-A, we know. We know their stance against, people of color and people who are gay, bi, whatever, lesbian. If you want to burn down a Chick-fil-A, I'm all for it, dude. I don't care. Look, Bang energy drinks, like they're Trump fans, Me, I work at a gas station. I get my bangs for free, so I'm not buying. I'm not giving to the Trump campaign or whatever. But no, if you want to go to the Bang headquarters and burn it down to the ground, I'm not going to stop you. I'm okay with it. And as far as the All Lives Matter thing, look, this is, I've seen it posted a lot on social media in the last couple of days. And this is the utmost truth. Do all lives matter? Yes, absolutely. But all lives aren't constantly targeted every day. I don't think people get it. Like, I am at a disadvantage every day because of the color of my skin and not the content of my character. Do all lives matter? Yes, absolutely. But all lives can't matter until black lives do. It's just that simple. Brandon?
Well, when it comes to the rioting and the looting, obviously, I disagree with that. I think you shouldn't be doing that. And the media and everything, as someone who's, an aspiring journalist, I see people and, the people will see the rioting and the looting and they'll misconceive that with the people who are peacefully protesting, and they'll stick to the looting and the rioting and see, like, look at all these, mean people, and they're just here to destroy. Sorry, getting a little agitated with everything going on right now. But, peaceful protest, all for it. The rioting and the looting, that's just, is people, it's white. I'm not saying it's all white people, but there's people who probably don't really care about the movement just going there, as you said, just going and destroying stuff to be reckless. But the All Lives Matter stuff, Philip, you said it eloquently. All lives can't matter until black lives do. I'm not black. I'm brown, but I've never felt like I've been oppressed or anything like that. So I've been grateful in that matter, living here in the Bay Area. It's a melting pot. There's a lot of different races, ethnicities, sexualities that I've been exposed to. So not saying that the Bay Area is the best place in the world, because obviously there are racist people that live here, but I just never have been exposed to it. But I'm definitely, at this point, it's either you're on one side or the other. It's not a time to stand in the middle and stay silent, because I'm only like 26 years old or 25 years old, and I've seen this thing go on like 3, 4, 5 different times already, and we haven't seen any change. And this time it feels different. So hopefully this time there's real change.
Absolutely. And with the rioting and stuff, my people have tried peaceful protests. We've sat at counters that said white only and silent protests, have food poured on us, dogs biting us, hosed down. Kaepernick, he had a peaceful protest banned by the NFL because of it. We've tried to be peaceful. It hasn't worked. So maybe this is the only way that we can truly be heard. That's how I feel about that, We're gonna move on from that, hopefully. Alfie Lewis. Actually, we're not going to move on from it. Jason Riker is a piece of ish. Enough said. Oh yeah, so the leader of the Forgotten Sons, he was Gunner in TNA. A lot of his old social media posts have come up, and people have taken to it and have called him a piece of ish like this, and don't want anything to do with him. Talks about how he doesn't understand why black people are upset and all this other stuff. And I just saw a photo of him, but basically his body was, I guess we could say black body because it wasn't his face, and just hateful remarks. So like, I'm sorry, the guy needs to be canned. That's the bottom line.
I haven't seen the older tweets. I just saw the tweet I think he put up on Monday, and Kevin Owens clapped back at him, just saying, "Don't try to get your crappy wrestling gimmick over. This is some real stuff going on right now." So shout out Kevin Owens. I stand Kevin Owens. Also Mustafa Ali clapped at him. Sami Zayn and a whole bunch of other people clapped at him, and it's his opinion. He's allowed to have his opinion, but people have the right to clap back at him. And if WWE released their statement, which is kind of just the regular corporate thing that we stand by the protest and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, but WWE kind of has their own issues with black talent and their history and stuff like that, which we could get into, but I don't think we're going to get into right at this moment. So I would love to see Jackson Riker maybe get de-pushed and not be a focal point all that much, because I never was really a big fan of him to begin with. And even his buddies on the Forgotten Sons have kind of distanced themselves from him. So this week's episode of SmackDown should be interesting to see if maybe Jackson Riker ain't with them anymore.
Absolutely. All right, Jack of all trades. Guys, with all this talk of Orton versus Edge being the greatest wrestling match ever, what are your top 10 favorite wrestling matches of all time? And I'll assume your number one is what you think the greatest wrestling match ever is. I read this email a couple days ago, talked to Brandon, dude. So what we're going to do a separate podcast of our top 10 wrestling matches just to save time today. So we will answer your question. We will get to it. You're going to have a whole podcast dedicated to your question, dude. Embrace it. Love it. Love it.
We have done this question in the past, back in the early days of the Bulletcast, when we would have like top 10s and we do lists and stuff. So I think if you go back to YouTube in the archives, deep in the archives, you might be able to find our list. But this would be an updated list, and it should be very interesting because I'm still working through it, because I looked at because I still had the notes and the list that I had all those years ago, and I've had to do some rearranging.
Absolutely. I found my list and it's still the same. Yeah. All right, Dan. Guys, I heard on Sam Roberts' podcast that he thinks HBK versus Brett, the Iron Man match, is underrated. What about you guys? I did hear this. I know Brandon has said many a time on the show how he feels it's overrated, but I look at it like this, man. I first saw that match when I was like, I don't know, 16, and it really made me appreciate like a wrestling match. I mean, like, plus the longest match I'd seen to date at that time was like, I don't know, like Taker and Shawn, which was like, what, 32 minutes, and they went in a whole hour, and like they kept me invested. I was playing a video game, and I just shut the thing off and just watched that entire match, and it really made me appreciate the wrestling aspect of things. So that's why that match is so visceral to a lot of people, from that time period, and even if you watch it now. So that's and plus it went into sudden death. Doesn't happen a lot. Love it. And Brandon, do you have any new takes on that match?
No, I think I've tried to watch the match at least 2 times. Still have never seen it in its entirety, because every time I watch it, I'm like, man, this is boring. I know there's going to be no falls. It's just an hour long of going back and forth and nothing really happening. So why am I going to waste an hour of my time watching this match when I can watch something better?
Wow. I know Bret Hart's in it, Jesus. Like, it's Shawn, It's the greatest wrestler of the 90s.
I could watch 2 great Shawn Michaels matches in the time I can watch that one mediocre match.
Wow.
Or 2 great Bret Hart matches, for that matter.
Bret was okay. He was no HBK. All right, Alfie Lewis. So is Brian Cage just gonna beat black people every week? Oh God.
Until the Great White Hope, John Moxley, beats him.
Oh Jesus, that Yeah, I didn't really think about that. He has just beaten Black.
I mean, if Brian Cage faces off against Pineapple Pete next week, we might have a case for this new gimmick.
Pineapple Pete! Oh, yeah, he was on Jericho's podcast this week, guys. Go give it a listen. I don't know what to say to that. We're just going to move on. Dan, this is the last fan mail. And Brightest X didn't write in this week. I'm sad. I really am.
Well, Mr. X writes in every single week to Curveballs and Chair Shots. He has his own segment dedicated to it because he's the only person he emails.
Oh, wow. That's great. I'm going to have to go listen to that. All right, so you can only meet 5. Choose wisely. Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, Le'Champion, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, John Cena, Jinder Mahal, Alexa Bliss, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn, and Jon Moxley. Oh, wow. I've met Le'Champion on 2 occasions. I'd be down to do it again, but let's see. I'll go.
Philip, if you could you copy and paste those names and could you put it in the script, because that's a lot of names for me to try to remember.
It's actually, he sent a photo. I can just send you the photo.
Well, if you send me the photo, then I can look over it, because I've already forgot about half the names already.
Yes, absolutely. I got you, buddy. Send you that photo.
Great audio right now.
Great audio, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. So I'll meet Alexa. Absolutely, love her to death. Gotta meet the franchise. I'll meet Big Match John. I'll hang out with Jinder. Sure, absolutely. Gotta have Charlotte. That's 4, and then I gotta hang out with my fellow Messiah. Absolutely. So I'm going Charlotte, Jinder, Alexa, John, and Seth Rollins. Those are my 5. Those are my 5. Brandon, what about you?
Well, if I'm going to do my 5, got to start off with give me that Becky. Got to go with my girl Becky Lynch. Then, got to go Alexa Bliss. It's the Sparkle Splash, not a Twisted Bliss. Just saying. Then we'll go with Finn. Shout out Finn. Love me some Finn Balor. And then that's 3. We'll go with Chris Jericho. Maybe see a hockey game, get hammered, drink some Grey Goose or something like that. And then finally, I'll go to a protest with Sami Zayn.
Wow, there you go. Absolutely. That's great, man. Have some bubbly with Le'Champion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the Raw recap. Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, cuts a promo saying he was doing a favor for Rey Mysterio, all this other stuff. Aleister Black comes out, and then they have a match. And guess what? Aleister Black beats the former Tyler Black. How do you feel about that?
Thought it was a good match. Promo by Seth, I enjoyed it. It's kind of more the same with kind of his soft-spoken delivery, but Aleister Black getting the win over Seth Rollins. I think that's a good sign for Black that he's going to be maybe not moving up to the main event tier, but at least they're not, having him lose right now for Seth Rollins to get over. So, good sign. Still holding out hope that Aleister Black can be much more.
Absolutely. I do want him to hit that upper middle card echelon, so to speak. All right. So Apollo Crews is set to face Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. They're doing a business, and then all of a sudden, Angel Garza and Andrade come out. Selena Vega looking very nice on Monday Night. You feel me? It leads to a tag team match.
My brother said that she looked like Doja Cat. All that pink.
Who is this? Who's Doja Cat?
She's a rapper.
Oh, really?
Big TikTok song.
Really?
Yeah. She's the one with the punches that you got to roll with, I believe.
You see, I'm so out of the loop, man. During the coaching season, I'm around the kids, and they keep me hip and young to this new people stuff. But when I'm not, I just don't know, man.
I love coaching the youth. It makes me feel young.
Exactly. I don't know who Doja Cat is. This Lizzo, I have no idea who she is. Billy English, Eilish, whoever the hell, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, I don't.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
has
who's
great
this?
songs.
Really?
And she's been theme song for an NXT show.
Really? And that I'm a Savage song, I just found out who that lady was like a week ago. So I don't know.
Stallion Megan.
Yes, I'm late to the game. I'm sorry. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, cruise control is the move that gets the job done. So KO and Apollo Crews can defeat Garza and Angel Garza and Andrade. Oh Jesus, I'm just off today. By God, by God. Thoughts on the tag team match?
The beginning with KO and Cruz, I mean, it was alright. It was kind of short. I didn't exactly know the psychology of the match because I think KO kind of hit Apollo Crews low, and then Apollo Crews was kind of fainted in injury, and then he not attacks, but kind of baits him in and gets one up on KO there. But the tag team match, it was fine. I believe Andrade is the one that took the pin. So again, Andrade kind of, losing a lot of steam ever since that wellness policy violation, but yet he's still getting a lot of television time. So it's kind of, 50-50. It's like he's on TV a lot, he's getting the time and doing stuff, but then when push comes to shove, he's always the one that loses, it seems like.
Yeah, we'll keep you on TV, but you're gonna have to be buried. That's just the way it is. All right, the Street Profits and the Viking War Radio Experience go bowling, and they're drinking goat's milk. Ugh, what the? How did you feel about this one?
Similar to the other, 3 segments that they've done before this. It was crap, not very funny whatsoever, and yet we're still going to get another one because they're going to do a decathlon. Can't wait.
Can't effing wait, brother. What else happened on Monday Night Raw? Rey Mysterio's promo. He and his son Dominic discuss what Seth Rollins did to him. Discuss, he took away tried to take away the livelihood for my family. He's wearing an eye patch under his mask. And so, this all has to lead to Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. I think SummerSlam be a nice little touch. What do you say?
And I think you can hold off on this match, really sell the Mysterio eye injury. Maybe Dominic goes and tries to get one up on Seth Rollins. Maybe Dominic turns on Rey and he joins the cult with Seth Rollins. Or sorry, it's not a cult. It's a following or whatever. But I did like the promo. I did kind of like Rey Mysterio's little setup he had in his room. Having like a nice WCW poster in the back. Had some little Easter eggs behind there. But overall, I enjoyed it, and I think this is some good stuff Rey Mysterio did on this show.
Absolutely, and his setup doesn't compare to the one I got here. I got the Dolph Ziggler plaque, which I attained from a very nice fellow. This is magnificent, I might add.
Shout out to that fantastic, nice fellow.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Asuka versus Flair ends with ref stoppage when Nia Jax comes out to Asuka's theme wearing a mask, and she put on the green eye paint or whatever. Shout out Nia Jax. What a gem, dude.
The match itself, I thought it was really good until the crap non-finish, which you thought was going to happen with 2 champions. You knew one of them wasn't going to lose. Well, Asuka did lose, but you knew neither one of them was going to get pinned or submitted. So yeah, I mean, good in-ring wise, but then a crappy finish like always.
Yeah, it was goodish, pal.
And it wasn't even really announced because I believe it was a count out, but they didn't really make it known that it was a count out. They just kind of made it seem like the ref threw it out because Nia Jax walked on the stage.
Yeah, it's just we don't know. We don't understand. All right, Raw and the Truth Killings defeats Rob Gronkowski and becomes the 24/7 champion yet again. So yeah, what is this, like a 30-second title run?
I mean, me and R-Truth got those high number of title reigns, but yet we can't hold on to it for a very long time.
That's true. I want to actually find out what number this is. On the bright side, he didn't say Tom Brady. He got he got the name right, so that's good.
Big pop if they could have got Tom Brady on Raw and R-Truth pins Tom Brady instead of Rob Gronkowski.
That would have been great, actually. That would have been hilarious. So, how many times has R-Truth been 24/7 champion? 36. Damn.
Can't wait for the new edition of the WWE Encyclopedia to come out when we get 10 pages just devoted to the 24/7 title reigns.
His longest run was 158 days. Wow, that's great. The 24/7 Championship Wikipedia, ladies and gentlemen, this
It's a mess.
yeah, this is actually great. 36, Drake Maverick 6, Mojo Rawley 7. Mojo Rawley has the second most amount of reigns. EC3 had 4. Oh, this thing was just defended on house shows too, I guess. And then there were a lot of people. Oh, the Revival! They also held it. Wow! Look at that! Look at that! There were a lot of people that held this thing, man. Jesus Christ.
Now I'm on the page and I was waiting for like the big old Excel spreadsheet of just every single one that happened, and yeah, I was a little disappointed that that was not the case. I wanted like a 10-page thing on every single decision that happened with the 24/7 title.
Oh, Carmella, we were there when she won it. We're good luck for people. Remember that.
We saw history.
Yes, we were also there for the last ever television appearance for the Revival.
Some would say that was good luck as well.
Exactly, absolutely. Alright, we have to move on from that. Nia Jax, she not like most girls. You do your thing, baby girl. She defeated Kairi Sane. It happened. There was a leg drop finish. Kairi took the steps wrong. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
I mean, we heard about this match last week. Kairi got busted open pretty bad. Running into the steps, we knew what was happening, so I was keeping an eye out. And then, of course, some awkward shots to the crowd, and Kairi covering up her face, go home, hit the leg drop, and yeah, did not look very good. I'm not a wrestler. I don't want to post blame on anybody because I don't know what the percentages on what a push into the steps is supposed to look like, but it didn't look very good on Nia's part, I'm just going to say.
No, I mean, Kairi went head first. You never go head first. You always go shoulder first. Like, come on.
But it's kind of hard to go shoulder first when the person who's supposed to gently kind of ease you into the steps pushes you a little too hard.
Well, you gotta make that adjustment midway. I thought these people were supposed to be professionals. Jesus.
Well, thanks to Nia and Kairi, they got a band move, a move band. There we go.
Oh, is that not allowed anymore?
We can't do a buckle bomb anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Which some should say Seth is the one that should have got the move banned because of Sting and Finn Balor.
Okay, dude, look, Sting's old and Finn Balor, he had a bad day at the office. It wasn't Seth's fault. It wasn't his fault.
Shout out Snitsky.
Shout out Snitsky. Alright, Randy Orton the Viper cuts a promo in what appears to be a boiler room, talks about the greatest match ever, talks about, Ric Flair, the wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, how we got to study under the tutelage of Nate and all this other stuff. Thoughts?
Once again, I'm going to put over Randy Orton, Phillip.
About time. I've been waiting for you to continuously do this, man.
Well, Randy Orton hasn't been on television in a while. I enjoyed the promo. Really good stuff. I am hoping that this is not just a Edge and Orton thing, that if Orton, I think, eventually has a feud with Drew McIntyre, that he can continue this good streak. In-ring wise, I'm still not holding my breath. This is going to be the greatest match ever, but the lead-up has been good to really good, once again.
It has. They bring out the best in each other. Remember, Edge told Randy, "I make you better," in which that might just be true. Or I think it's just Canadians, man. Whenever Randy's working a Canadian, his game is up. Like this stuff with Edge, his stuff with Christian, back in the day in that series of matches, that was awesome. So maybe it's just my people that make Randy better. All right, the final thing we saw on Raw was a match between the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP. Claymore kick, McIntyre wins, and then we have Bobby Lashley, who adopted the Master Lock for some reason. Maybe because he broke it back in the day, so he figured he can adopt it. That's his new finish, and he's locking that in on Drew McIntyre, and they go off the air, and we have Raw Talk, which apparently that's back.
On the free version of the WWE Network. So if you've been too cheap to spend $10 or just couldn't afford $10, you can watch Raw Talk and watch Charlie. Shout out Charlie.
Does she have a TikTok?
Maybe. I think she does, but she doesn't post a lot.
Wow, boo Charlie. No,
but you stay posting those fire Instagram workout videos.
Man, love you, girl. But back to the match, though.
Match was fine. Lana getting involved. Seems like they're going full steam ahead with the breakup. I don't know if it's a breakup or just a feud between MVP and Lana. I don't know what Lana's going to do now that Ruru's not there, and if she's going to break up with Lashley, what Lana's going to be doing. But the match was all right. It was short, sweet, to the point. McIntyre wins, as he should. Get heat on Lashley by attacking Drew after the fact. So, yeah. Wow, now you cussed, Phillip.
I know where we are. I know where we are. I'll edit it out and send it over to the radio station. We didn't go last week, but we'll go this week. God damn it! All right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW Dynamite. So we kick things off. Always on the call, Excalibur, good old Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone. We kick things off with Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Jimmy Havoc and Superbad Kip Sabian. Solid contest by these guys. They no commercial break for it. They went the whole thing. Basically almost the whole first 30 minutes of the show. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. In the end, Hangman and Omega, they get the job done.
Good match. I mean, obviously, Omega and Hangman need to get the win here. I was never really in doubt. I think maybe a little bit too spotty, a little bit, trying to fit, 30 pounds of stuff in a 10-pound bag, one might say. But overall, good start to the show.
Absolutely. And then we move on to who can survive the path of Cage. Obviously, to play on the path of Rage, stuff that Taz did in ECW. Cage defeats Shawn Dean. This is the second African-American gentleman he's destroyed in a week. Or in the span of 2 weeks on Dynamite. John Moxley comes out there and he talks about you're talking a big game and all this other stuff. You look physically great, but when you put my name in your mouth, just remember who the hell you're talking about. Basically, that was a gist of Moxley's promo.
Really good stuff by both Taz and Moxley. Brian Cage in the squash match looked intense, looked really strong and physical. I'm excited to see, the promos leading up to it. I still can't really envision what the match is going to look like because Cage is kind of like, the high-flying strongman type, and Moxley is kind of just the blue-collar brawler type. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how they would mesh in the ring. But thus far, Taz, Moxley, fantastic chemistry on the mic.
Man, Taz took off his glasses. That's how you knew it was serious.
And he was so intense, he spit on the camera.
Absolutely. That's how you work, brother. That's how you cut a promo, man. All right, we move on to Le'Champion. Chris Jericho defeats Boom Boom Colt Cabana. This was solid work. Jericho being a little bit more agile in this match than we have seen him in late. Or as of late, I should say. What are your thoughts?
Good match, novel match, something that I would have never thought I would have seen Chris Jericho take on Colt Cabana on TNT. But, fine. Jericho gets the win, which he should, kind of reestablish himself. And then Colt gets a loss. He cut a promo afterwards, which I enjoyed, kind of planting the seeds of maybe joining the Dark Order. He kind of was seeming like he didn't want to join, but he was thinking about it. So just kind of, keep an eye out for that to see what Colt does.
Yes, and not only that, we have Sammy Guevara with his beautiful vocals singing Jericho's theme song, and after the match is over, Jericho calls out the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson. He's like, "Where are you, Mike? Huh? I want the baddest man on the planet." And then Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, pops up, and he puts Jericho's hands in his belt because his tights don't have pockets, and he evades Jericho, and he's carried over the guardrail by the best friends. So next week we will get Jake Hager, the Big Hurt, and Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz of the Inner Circle going up against the best friends, along with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. A match between Cassidy and Le'Champion would be great, would it not?
I think it would be a lot of fun. I think Jericho would definitely lean into the comedy aspect of his character. If this is a Fyter Fest, I'm all for it. And early prediction, Orange Cassidy will beat Chris Jericho. I have a feeling.
Wow.
Jericho's going to take it to, he's not going to take it seriously, and Orange Cassidy will take it seriously enough to where he can get one up on Le'Champion.
Jericho shows up in boxing gear. We just do the whole thing. Yep.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She's attending Dynamite in a Rolls Royce. Get it? Because she's a role model in a Rolls Royce. Absolutely. We see her road to recovery video package. Very great. You have Rebel there. Rebel? Does she have a TikTok?
I'm not looked into it, Phillip.
Rebel, baby girl, get a TikTok. You need one. Trust me. So Rebel's there coaching her on, and then the head doctor, I forget his name, for AEW, and then Tony Schiavone's there, and it's just funny, man. Britt Baker, what? I never thought she would be this good of a bad guy, and I love it. I love it to death.
Britt Baker's such an inspiration to show and document her road to recovery. I mean, the feats of strength that she was able to pull off in her early stages of rehabilitation was just phenomenal.
Absolutely, you could say that her recovery is very, very undisputed. You might add. Because her boyfriend's the leader of the Undisputed Era.
Her baby.
Her baby, yes, absolutely. Alright, and then after this we have the Native Beast Nyla Rose defeats Big Swole, the wife of Cedric Alexander. And okay, it was decent, it was fine. Spinebuster gets the job done, and Britt Baker's talking mess to Big Swole after Big Swole's match, and Big Swole gets a chair. It was like, you gonna get it, you wanna act crazy, let's act crazy. So, yeah, that happened.
Nobody got hurt, that's all they can ask for. But I gotta say this. Big Swole, Tony Schiavone, I think he said this like multiple times that she's, very athletic, one of the most athletic wrestlers on the roster. And I think that's something that just the wrestling business in general needs to stop doing, because there's a long history of commentators, making the black wrestler the athletic one. And I think you got to make them more than that. So just throwing it out there, that don't just make Big Swole the athletic black wrestler. Make her more than that.
I didn't see many feats of athleticism in her match, so.
But that's just what they say. That's what they put her as.
All right, FTR can mean anything. It can mean forever. We can't say that name anymore. Free the revolt, or forever the revolt, for the revolution, whatever. They sit down with Tony Schiavone, in the Jacksonville Jaguars headquarters. They have this interview. They talk about all these tag teams, and they have their eye on Omega and Hangman, who they're not a traditional tag team. And then of course they talk about the Bucks and how they've heard about this for 5 years, and such. They're gonna teach him how to wrestle. And then all of a sudden, the Butcher and the Blade, no Bunny, I'm sad. They come from the upstairs, and they have an altercation, a verbal altercation, not a physical one, because there's people to hold them off. And Cash Wheeler of the Revolt says, "Look, we're businessmen. We'll handle this in the ring. That's where we handle all our business." And he throws water at him. Thoughts?
I like the interview. I like the way that they came across. They're not leaning heavily into the FWWE, what Brody Lee has been doing lately. So I like that aspect of it. They're tweeners in kind of like the truest form, to where I can't really tell what I'm supposed to believe, if they're heels or baby faces. I think at this moment they're kind of like cocky baby faces, but then also when they were talking about the Young Bucks, they were kind of dismissive and kind of heelish. So I think just at the moment they're baby faces, but I think it's only a matter of time until they turn full-fledged heel.
I mean, they're gonna teach him how to wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of like kind of backhanded compliments in their promo.
I did like how Tony Schiavone was like, after it was over, like, I thought FTR stood for the, a little play on some BTE stuff there. That was funny. I was like, ha 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 ha. That's how you get away with it.
FTR stands for everything, except for that.
Except for that. All right, the main event, the TNT Championship, is on the line. Two guys who have graced the All Pro Wrestling ring here in the Bay Area. Jungle Boy Jumpin' Jack Perry takes on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for the TNT Championship. Solid work here by both gentlemen. Cody, he busted open, got some color. They go through a table. There's chain wrestling, but in the end, the American Nightmare retains the championship of America's Greatest Network.
I had pretty high expectations for this match going in. Not saying that it was going to be an all-time classic or anything, but I think they definitely lived up to that. Thought it was, really good babyface matchup. Athleticism. Cody breaks out the blade with the color, but overall, I mean, really good. They have a history here in the Bay Area with both of them wrestling for APW on a consistent basis. I don't think they really touched on that, but anyways, really enjoyed the match. Obviously, Cody got the win, which he should have. Jungle Boy looked good in defeat. Still don't know, how high Jungle Boy could actually go. If he's going to have to change his gimmick up, maybe, just get completely repackaged. But overall, really good. And next week he's facing Marquette. I am going to completely butcher his name.
Marcus Quinn.
The Private Party.
Marcus Quinn.
Marcus.
Yes, Marcus Quinn.
Okay, I thought it was something else. But anyways, I don't really understand why he's the next person to face off for the TNT title, because he's a tag team wrestler. They haven't really built him up and given us a reason for that. But
it's open to anybody.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it, yes, absolutely.
Anything's possible, as Kevin Garnett said.
If you just believe. Whatever happened to that guy? All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we sign off, we have to talk about NXT TakeOver in your house. We are doing the predictions for this. Championship's not on the line because I just hadn't planned on it. Alright, so here we go. First up, Finn Balor, Prince Balor. He's going up against Damian Priest. I got Finn. I got Finny Boy. He's on the road to becoming the NXT champion yet again. He needs to beat Priest, and I think he needs to beat somebody else before he can be like, alright, Adam, I was the longest reigning NXT champion. Now you are. It's time I take that title from you.
I'm going to go with Finn Balor as well. I feel as though Finn in NXT hasn't exactly, not clicked, but hasn't really, lived up to the high expectations. He hasn't been pushed at the level that I think he could be, obviously, with the pandemic and not a lot of fans and no fans there. That's kind of put a damper on it as well. But I think Finn's going to win. Damian Priest, I still have some high hopes for. I can see him as being kind of a Baron Corbin-esque, where he doesn't really do a whole lot in NXT, but then he's going to get a pretty big push in WWE on the main roster because Vince likes his size and his look.
Absolutely, the former Punishment Martinez. All right, next up we have Keith Lee, Bask in His Glory. Dope theme song, by the way. He goes up against Johnny Gargano, the former Rebel Heart. Maybe now he has a black heart like Tommaso Ciampa. We don't know. They're fighting for the NXT North American Championship. I'm picking Johnny Gargano. I like this version of Johnny. This cocky, arrogant, squeamish a-hole. I like this. I'm all in favor of this version of Johnny Gargano holding a championship in NXT. And there's something in Keith Lee, the bigger man, chasing the little squirmy heel for the title. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think this match could go either way, which makes me excited to see the match. But I will go with Keith Lee. I think you keep it on him, have that if Adam Cole is going to be the heel champion going forward, have him be the babyface champion on the men's side. I think the match could be really good. Maybe we get a false finish. Maybe we get a disqualification on Johnny Gargano's part, which is something we don't really see on takeovers all that often, even though we kind of see it a lot on the NXT show with kind of the crappy finishes. But I'll go with Keith Lee. Not really, positive on that aspect of it, but just going to go with it to be different.
There you go. All right. Woo! The Queen, Charlotte Flair, defends the NXT Women's Championship against Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. I have Charlotte pinning Rhea. I think Rhea takes another loss. She was the nice, cool new flavor of the month, but she got beat at Mania when the stakes were too big, and with the stakes being even bigger in this scenario in NXT, I think she takes another loss. We keep Io Shirai nice and high. She'll have a great performance, but she won't be pinned, so she won't be hurt. She won't get the job done either.
I'm going to go with Charlotte on this one as well. I don't like this match just because I love Io, I love Rhea, and I just don't think either one of them should be losing at this point. I think you could have found Mia Yim. I think you could have had Mia Yim be in this match and have Charlotte beat her, and it would have been perfectly fine. I know Mia Yim is doing something with Gargano and Candice LeRae at the moment, but I just have two of your top women be in this match, and I feel as though both are going to come out losing. Obviously, only one is going to take the actual loss, which I think it's going to be Io. But Io did take the loss in that tag team match last week, so I don't know if they want to pin Io, twice in 3 weeks, but I'm going to go with Charlotte getting the win over Io.
All right, there you go. And also, this is another non-title match. The NXT tag titles are not on the line on the show, which is interesting. Karrion Kross, accompanied by Scarlett. Yowzers. He's taking on Tommaso Ciampa, the Blackheart of NXT, the daddy of NXT, you could say, ahead of Papa Trips. You know what, Brandon? I still have yet to see this amazing entrance I keep hearing about from Karrion Kross. Looks like I'll have to see it on Sunday when I watch Takeover, because he's my pick to beat Ciampa.
I'll go with Kross as well. I'm not going to say it's a squash by any means, but I think it's going to be a pretty decisive win. I think Karrion Kross has tremendous upside. Scarlett, the aspect of her character hasn't really been fleshed out too much. I mean, I think maybe cut one promo. I haven't seen this week's NXT yet, so I haven't seen the full build for this match. I know they do something on the show, but overall, I think Kross is going to win pretty decisively. Maybe they go back to this match again, but I think Kross has a big upside on NXT.
Absolutely. All right, last up, it is the NXT Championship. Adam Cole, baby. He defends against the Velveteen Dream. And if Velveteen Dream is unsuccessful in capturing the NXT Championship, he cannot challenge for the title as long as Adam Cole is champion. That's something they should have did with Cody and Jericho for the AEW title, I'm just saying. Alright, so...
And this is going to be a backlot brawl, I believe.
Oh, that's going to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm picking Adam Cole. The reign must continue, and it's going to be dream over for Patrick Clark.
I will go with Adam Cole as well. If this is the backlot brawl, I think this is going to be, the cinematic experience that we kind of get once per show. And I think it could be a lot of fun. I think Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream could have a lot of fun in this. Hopefully it's not too, wacky and over the top like the original one was with Goldust and Roddy Piper. But Adam Cole definitely could lean into the comedic side a lot more of the being the elite side of Adam Cole, but I think overall he's going to get the job done. And I'm waiting for Adam Cole to turn babyface. I feel as though that should happen, but I think if it's going to happen, it should be done in front of a live crowd with real fans, not trainees.
Absolutely. Adam. So this Adam Cole is going to copy the Adam Cole that died on being the elite?
He's going to drink a bad monster and he's going to die.
Oh my god. That's why you don't drink Monster. That's why you drink Bang, ladies and gentlemen.
If you do drink Monsters, do the zero sugar ones. Your intestines will thank you later.
Yeah. Or drink Rain. I hear that's very popular. I might have to try that.
Eva Marie. Yes. Sponsored by Rain.
Yes. I had a Rain once. I actually quite enjoyed it. I think it was like a pink lemonade or something. Mouth's watering for it. Oh my god. Alright, Superstar Spotlight. Who do we got? I'm going Jungle Boy. I'm very impressive against the EVP of AEW, TNT Champion Cody. Good work. Brandon said he might have become repackaged. That could be a possibility, but I don't see him being anything else than Jungle Boy jumping Jack Perry. Brandon, who's your Superstar Spotlight?
My Superstar Spotlight, I will go on the Raw side of things, and I'll go with Rey Mysterio. It was just a simple sit-down promo. He had the eye patch. I kind of predicted that maybe we would get the old-school Rey Mysterio mask with the blocked-out eyes, but I really enjoyed his promo.
Yeah, or maybe he can get a custom one made where it's like half of what he's wearing now, and then half of the old-school WCW with the one eye that's messed up blocked out. I think that'd be cool. That'd be really nice. All right, our promo pick of the week, Brandon. What is it?
Well, this week's promo pick, I've been talking about this a bunch of times on this. I don't know if this is the exact one I've been talking about, but this is the Who is Apollo Crews series. It is a two-parter, only a few minutes long on the YouTube. This is from NXT October 28th, 2015. This is leading up to Apollo Crews' NXT title match against Finn Balor. Really the only high-profile thing Apollo Crews really did in NXT, unfortunately. But I don't think it's the entirety of what actually is on NXT. So if you have the network, you can go and check that out. But he talks about his family and his kind of lead up into NXT, kind of the background and upbringing that he had. And he talks about in the second part, him being in NXT and what this means to him. So, just a good little insight on who Apollo Crews is. It's a two-parter. So if you type it in, if you watch the first part, the second one should be in your recommended right after this.
Yeah, I do remember this vaguely from NXT all those years ago. It was just typical. All right, who is this guy? Let's get introduced to him a little bit. The former Uhaa Nation. It was fine. It was simple. Like you did say, I think this wasn't probably the most profile thing he did in NXT. Besides, the match with the Balor. Was that for the title or not? I can't remember. It might have been. Yeah. Well, moving on from that, close match pick of the week: Kyle O'Reilly. This is pre-Undisputed Era Kyle O'Reilly versus Tyson Dukes. I'm a big fan of Dukes. I like his work. Pro Wrestling World Cup, Round 1, WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling, or Defiant, whichever one you're familiar with. May 27th, 2017. This was, we started the Bulletcast a few months before this, and that Pro Wrestling World Cup was one of the main focal points for us talking during that era of our show. It was really a lot of technical stuff, a lot of standing switches, sit-out switches, arm bars, but O'Reilly gets the job done with the Armageddon, because it's an arm bar and it's like a leg arm bar in one. Get it?
Oh, I get it.
Yes. What'd you think of the match, Brandon?
Really enjoyed the match. Not really too familiar with Tyson Duke, but I love Kyle O'Reilly. I feel as though he is not underutilized, but I feel that he could be so much more. Maybe not the level of Adam Cole, but definitely that kind of next level down. A really good technical match, kind of the British technical style. Really enjoyed it, and hopefully once the pandemic is over and Kyle O'Reilly, who has diabetes, so that's why you haven't seen him on NXT, he can come back and he can be a focal point on NXT once again.
See that, ladies and gentlemen? No matter what your fitness level is, you can contract diabetes. You can have it. Stay well. Yeah. If you're interested in another match of Tyson Dukes, check out the Cruiserweight Classic. He wrestled Zack Sabre Jr., who gave us a wonderful, wonderful drop a few years back. But I think that's going to do it. Follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, The Bulletcast. Email us, Bulletcast2 is in the number 2, sweet, SWET@gmail.com. Every Friday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. I might be doing a guest appearance Sunday night to recap NXT TakeOver in your house on somebody else's podcast. But if that doesn't happen, Brandon and I will do a recap of it with each other, because our recaps of pay-per-views and live events are always amazing. You don't want to miss it. That's going to do it for Brandon and myself. Ladies and gentlemen, stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.